Now, how is inflation affecting you? As prices rise, do you have enough money to cover your costs? On this week's Mind Your Business, Eagle News business correspondent Bobby Soriano talks about what, if anything, we can do to fight inflation.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another segment of Mind Your Business, where we are dedicated to discussing the latest news moving the markets and business trends that could be affecting your workplace soon. So you might have noticed recently that your wallet has been a little lighter these days. Maybe that value meal you bought doesn't have as much value as it used to. Maybe you just passed your local gas station and you're starting to wonder, did you imagine those cheap prices you saw a month, 2 weeks, or even just a week ago? You're definitely not imagining things, as inflation here in the US has really picked up, and it doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. US consumer prices, which are used to track how much inflation is rising on a month-to-month basis, hit a new 40-year high last month according to the Labor Department, with the Consumer Price Index rising 7.9% higher in February compared to the same month last year, its biggest jump since 1982. To put that into perspective, the last time a jump in the CPI was this high, music lovers were going crazy over the debut of Michael Jackson's Thriller, and the first episode of The Late Night Show with David Letterman aired. And no surprise here that the cost of gas was the biggest contributing factor to the CPI increase, responsible for more than a third of it. Other categories, including food, used car, and housing prices, saw their largest increases since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, on a national level, the Federal Reserve announced on Wednesday that it will be trying to clamp down on out-of-control prices with a series of interest rate hikes that will be implemented throughout the year. But what about in our own households? Is there anything we can do to combat inflation and the rising cost of everything? Unfortunately, there's not much we can do to slow down prices rising on a national level. Our only hope is to ride it out with some old-fashioned money-saving techniques. For example, since gas is a consumer good with the biggest price increase, stands to reason then that the best way to fight rising costs in our bills is to limit our usage of it. Trying to run all of our errands on a single day instead of multiple trips, carpooling to work or your church, and using apps that track local gas prices to find the lowest prices are all ways we can save at the pump. Paying down debt will also help save money in the long run. The interest rate you pay on credit cards is directly tied to the interest rate hikes that will be forthcoming by the Federal Reserve. So paying down debt before those hikes reach your credit card statements will help to keep a few more dollars in your bank account. And finally, on the income side of things, if you have any leverage whatsoever at your job, now might be a time to ask for a larger than usual pay increase. Maybe you're used to getting a 3 to 4% raise every year. What many people don't realize, however, is that if inflation rises higher than your paycheck, you're actually receiving a pay cut, because your pay raise doesn't even cover the new cost of goods. Very few companies could give a pay raise that would completely cover the inflation we're seeing today, but if you're in a good position to negotiate an extra 0.5% or more, it will still help to dull the edge of inflation cutting into your finances. Now, it's really anyone's guess as to when we'll start to see inflation go back to the Fed's target inflation of 2% a year. The pandemic, along with recent geopolitical tensions, have created a perfect storm to keep inflation high for at least the near future. Until then, hopefully some of the tips we gave today can help you and your family keep the costs in your home under control. Reporting from New York for Mind Your Business, this is Bobby Soriano, Eagle News.